First of all, I'll just quickly say I also think the program has been a great success in South Africa. I might say something controversial to say it's not just a renewable success. It's not even just an energy success. It is an investment success overall. The lessons for other countries may not be in renewables. I mean, South Africa happens to be uniquely blessed with wind and solar resource and equally faces challenges in finding other quick fuel supplies. I mean, we don't, as of today, have viable gas resource on a large scale. We've got a lot of coal, and as we heard from other speakers, there are reasons why we don't want to do too much more coal. So the lessons for other countries in the region may not be about renewables at all. They may be process issues that could be applied to other sectors. For us, acting, as Helle said, acting for private sector bidders, the key lessons were, firstly, the volume of transactions. That could be an opportunity for some countries. It could be a challenge because for some markets in the region, they may not be able to justify the number of other projects. What attracted a lot of players, bankers, advisors, developers to South Africa was if you didn't get this project, but you made the investment in learning the process, you've got a fairly good chance of getting another project because there was such a high volume. So that could be a challenge for some of the smaller markets in the region. I'm sure for Nigeria, for Kenya, it's not such an issue to create a volume of projects, but it's something to think about. The second lesson was, the relative speed, the transparency, the objectivity of the process. I think that was absolutely critical. I think it's fair to say the private sector got a little bit nervous about some of those speed bumps, and I think Dr. Barnard referred to synchronization with government cycles, but we were always confident that it was an objective, transparent process, and I think that's an important lesson. A couple of the issues that might or might not apply to other markets, or they might be learning points. One of the things South Africa had is very, very deep financial markets, and not just depth of financial markets, but local currency financial markets, and not just debt markets, but equity funding markets. Now, that could be a challenge for some of the other markets in the region. On the other hand, it's also an opportunity because I think, and I'm sure Ntlai would agree with me, that although the markets in South Africa were very deep, they were deepened by the process of the REIPP. I think it's fair to say that even major banks like Standard Bank faced a bit of a bottleneck and probably went through an awful lot of sort of increasing their capacity, bringing new people into the project finance world, which would hopefully have a spin-off benefit for the market in other projects in years to come. So again, if a country faces a bottleneck, it's also an opportunity to grow those skills. And that's not just in finance, that's amongst the developers. We saw a lot of project developers coming in who are not just the big international IPPs. Small local companies who said this is an opportunity. So we created new companies, we created new jobs, new corporate structures. The same goes probably for all the other sort of areas of support, be they environmental, be they technical, be they insurance. So I think that was successful. Localization, and Ntlai spoke about. I think that's also important that you have a codified local investor requirement. I think all too often foreign investors in Africa think, I know I've got to get local partners, but I don't know, should I get somebody who's politically connected? Should I get a government agency? Should I do something that's genuinely community and based on the kind of good thing for society? But by virtue of the codification that the South African process undertook, it was a lot easier for investors to find a way to be compliant and to help, small participants. I mean, the broad-based Black economic empowerment thing has genuinely, I think, helped a lot of communities and broad-based investors because there was support from DFIs for it in certain areas. So, broadly a success story. Learning points, to make it applicable to your own technology and energy in each country, and it could be beyond power. It could be applicable to water in some markets, and just to try and achieve volume. And I suppose one of the questions, Ella, for discussion maybe is, how would smaller markets actually achieve that same degree of volume? I don't know the answer to that one.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.